We here at Homebrew Crew thought it was time to make something with you all.
That's right. So we're starting a new series. Welcome to Forge Fridays. Welcome to our first Forge Friday.
Yes, very exciting. If you are new to the channel, this is going to be a new series that we're going to be starting up where we're going to essentially make a creation once a month with the help of some of our viewers.
That's right. And the way this is going to work is we were sitting down thinking about what we wanted to do and thought, you know what? We don't pay enough attention to the artists that are out there that make these awesome things. They really, really help all these creators get their stuff out there and known. And artists sometimes get overlooked.
Yes, exactly. So we're kind of giving an opportunity for some of those artists to actually submit some artwork for this creation and kind of get included in that publishing process.
Right. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to make something with you guys there, and every artist that watches us can submit the actual artwork for this particular thing. We're going to do this once a month. We're going to do one release a month.
Yeah.
4 videos a month every Friday. And at the end of the month, we're going to choose the winner, and we are going to split profits and everything else with that person when we publish on DMsGuild.
Yeah, we'll have more details on how it's actually going to work, but you'll be sure to send an email if you want to get started on that. We are going to be talking about the concept of today's creation, and for future episodes during the months, we may even open it up to other opportunities for collaboration, so be sure to stay tuned.
That's right. So today we're going to talk about our concept. You know, if anyone's watched our Homebrew Help series, you know the first thing you got to come up with is the idea of what you want to create.
And we were kind of talking about, you know, looking back on the things that we've done on the channel, all the reviews that we've done, and we realized something. And we kind of hate to admit it, but one thing that has not gotten a lot of love on the channel, especially when it comes to homebrew, is that good old Artificer class.
Yeah, except for the fact that our first Artificer video, we mispronounced everything.
Little, you know, right. We had a bit of a bad start with it, but, you know.
But it became something that meant something to us. Artificers are it's an awesome class when you know what to do with it. It is definitely about, you know, helping other people in the party, using magic items and all that. So that kind of got us thinking of what we would make.
And not to mention it being a very new class. You know, it's kind of like a big undertaking to take on this brand new thing that came out only this year.
Yeah,
you
tabula rasa, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
A blank slate.
And to try and create something new with this. So we kind of started thinking about ideas, you know, trying to going over like what an artificer is and what we could possibly do. And we were kind of thinking like, okay, you know, maybe we can think of something that like tinkers, obviously. That's kind of going to be like our main theme. And then we kind of got to thinking about the time of the year.
Right. And, you know, with that, we looked at it and went, you know what? There's a lot of, you know, Santa's elves, these kind of things. Why not make a Toymaker?
Yes, so this month's creation will be an Artificer class called the Toymaker. Now, we have a lot of really neat ideas that we kind of want to go on with this. But of course, you'll be able to kind of help, you know, submit any suggestions along with the artwork and anything like that. But I guess when we were thinking about this Toymaker, we kind of had to start thinking about, you know, what is a Toymaker? Right.
So when we look at an artificer grabs a certain set of tools, and that's his spellcasting focus, right?
Yeah.
So with this, you know, he's going to be doing things with wood carving. We didn't want to make it like, okay, high tech kind of whatever.
Right.
Here's, I have my magical iPhone or something like
right.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
So we thought, okay, old wooden toys is a great way to go with this, and they can have different effects and different stuff like that. So we started looking at, well, what really inspires those toys? Because I don't know if you guys have ever looked at a plain wooden block. It's pretty boring.
It does require a certain very imaginative mind to actually have a lot of fun with that block.
Right.
So we kind of started thinking about like all these toys that would kind of typically be mundane unless it was for a child, and how that would kind of work as an actual class mechanic. We even kind of started looking at examples of toy makers that have been seen in past media.
That's right. And even the toys themselves, like the thrill and the imagination of the person holding the toy is what really makes it cool. I know when I was a kid with it, if I had wooden blocks or something like that, I would pretend they were people, I would do this, I would do that. And that creativity and imagination is really what we wanted to touch on with this class.
Yeah, it's something that we kind of want to make sure was definitely a focus on the class itself. You know, kind of exploring this concept of imagination, and how that can help amplify, possibly what this artificer can infuse it. Because again, we're working with the artificer. They're here to kind of deal with all these magical items and these infusions. So it's been really a lot of fun trying to kind of combine the two ideas. It kind of worked out. It was actually not too complicated to kind of put those two concepts together. And we're pretty excited with what we come up with.
Now, we don't want to limit this to good toy makers. We got Santa's elves and Santa and, Geppetto and things like that. You got to be able to adapt this to evil things as well. So you thought of some pretty interesting ones to base the evil stuff off.
There are some mischievous toy makers. For example, the Toymaker from Batman is a great example. Even Jigsaw from the movie Saw is a bit of an example too.
Yeah, and when you look at those things with it, you got to look at it as they're utilizing not necessarily the imagination for those, but maybe the fear of what they can do or what is going to happen. Stuff like that. And
it's something that you should always consider when you're making like a subclass too. You might not necessarily want to make it specifically for bad characters or specifically for good characters. The nice thing that we were able to kind of do with this Toymaker concept is that it could be a good character that wants to help inspire people and make them feel good. Or it could be for someone who is mischievous and trick them and manipulate them and use these toys for their own gain.
Right, exactly. So, when going through all of this stuff, this is our basic core concept of it. So what we're looking for as far as the artwork of this is something whimsical or something kind of creepy and evil.
Or maybe an interesting mix of both.
A mix of both. A yin and a yang, so to speak. So that's what we're looking for with it. Next week's video, we're going to be going over the basic stuff of an artificer and taking the toys and the concepts and things and putting those together with how that works. Yeah. And then further on going into the mechanics of it. And by the end of the month, we'll have a class that's all ready and hopefully some really awesome artwork from you guys. Now we're starting submissions from this like right now, like today.
Yes, so if you do want to get your artwork submitted, be sure to send an email to HBCForgeFridays@gmail.com.
We'll leave a link in the description below because it's a brand new email address just for Forge Fridays.
Yes, and if you want to make sure that you're caught up with the series and our other homebrew videos, be sure to subscribe down below. There's actually a bell that you can hit to get a notification as soon as you get a new video out.
That's right. And remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are homebrewed and the ones that you homebrew with your friends. So until next time,
keep brewing.